Good evening, I'm Natalie Shepard. Well, during Mardi Gras, New Orleans taxpayers pay for hotel rooms for Louisiana state troopers who come in to help with security. Well, a draft audit report from the Louisiana Legislative Auditor says former state police commander Mike Edmonson used some of those taxpayer-funded rooms for his friends and family during Mardi Gras. Here's investigative reporter Katie Moore with a closer look.
Carnival 2014. The fun brings with it concerns about security, with the number of New Orleans police officers approaching a modern-day low. The city calls in the cavalry, the Louisiana State Police.
You've got to look and say, well, where are things happening? You don't have the manpower that you've had in the past, so why don't we put people where things are happening?
We send a letter to the colonel asking for a certain amount of state troopers. We then worked to negotiate how many troopers we needed versus how many he could really supply.
Most of those troopers need a place to stay. Just like police officers, hotel rooms are in short supply during Mardi Gras, and while the average reveler could spend hundreds of dollars a night, the Greater New Orleans Hotel and Lodging Association seeks out discounts for state police.
We figured out how many rooms were needed, and then we figured out the funding for that, and then the NOPD out of our budget provides the funding for that.
The city pays for the rooms, and even with the discount, these NOPD records show taxpayers pay more than $23 grand each year to house the troopers during that 11-day stretch. Last year, the cost climbed to nearly $40,000.
So we asked for more than we usually ask for Mardi Gras because we had a week of NBA festivities right in the middle of Mardi Gras.
State police make the hotel room assignments. But the Louisiana Legislative Auditor says in this draft report obtained by our partners at the New Orleans Advocate, all of those rooms were not used by state troopers. The audit says Edmonson allowed friends and family to stay in extra hotel rooms free of charge.
When you hear that there's an allegation that Mike Edmonson may have asked for extra hotel rooms, possibly to give to his friends and family, is that surprising to you given what you know?
No, I've been hearing about it for years. And everything that I've heard is a result of troopers and former troopers and people that work in the hotel motel industry providing that information. So it was a well-known secret.
Auditors found multiple rooms in Edmonson's name from 2013 to 2016. One year, the report says 2 rooms at the Windsor Court were assigned to an unnamed state trooper. That state trooper told auditors he never stayed at the Windsor Court. And according to the draft audit, Edmonson's emails showed he checked into one of the unnamed trooper's rooms using his reward number. But that's not all.
The audit says in 2014, New Orleans taxpayers paid to put Mike Edmonson up here at the Roosevelt for several nights during Mardi Gras. The audit also says the state reimbursed Edmonson for a stay here at the Hotel Mazarin for the same nights.
This receipt from the Roosevelt with Edmonson's name on it says he checked in on February 28, 2014 and stayed until Ash Wednesday, March 5th. Then there's this receipt from the Hotel Mazarin, also with a February 28th check-in date and a check-out date of March 3rd. It also has Edmonson's name and what appears to be his signature on it. And the audit says Edmonson submitted this receipt for reimbursement from the state police.
If those rooms were being used for or by friends of Colonel Edmonson, and they weren't troopers and they weren't doing official state police work there, that could potentially be a criminal problem for him.
Edmonson's wife posted this picture of the couple on Facebook the night of the Endymion extravaganza, and a few days later, this picture of them outside the Hotel Mazarin. Auditors say Edmonson told them he booked the rooms at the Hotel Mazarin to hold meetings there. But troopers told investigators all their meetings were held a few blocks away at the state police office in the Cabildo.
What we agreed to was that some of the troopers would share rooms, and then the supervisors up the chain would have their individual rooms, and that's kind of how we agreed to it. And then we provided the funding for those rooms.
Auditors found the NOPD paid for a room at the Windsor Court that may have been used by Edmonson's friends in 2015. The unnamed couple spent 5 nights at the hotel, and they paid more than $919 in incidental charges and parking on their credit card. But the NOPD paid for the room that was in an unidentified trooper's name. Then in 2016, the report says Edmonson let his stepdaughter and her friend stay in a state police room at the Lowe's Hotel for several nights. When they left, troopers moved in.
I would imagine that there's going to be an investigation into that. And so the colonel and I always met. We were always in close contact about what we needed, what he could provide. And so I took them at their word that it would be used for the troopers for the purpose of Mardi Gras.
Harrison says it was an honor system, one that may have been dishonored for years at the highest levels.
What is disturbing is that it took this long for the truth to be known. And I think that the reason for that is that people, while they were disgusted, were afraid to formally confirm on the record what their superior was doing, because he was viewed as being invincible and in a position of power.
Edmonson, once powerful, now silenced, not responding to our requests for comment, but the auditor has given him a chance to formally respond. Katie Moore, Eyewitness News.
Well, the final audit is expected to be released in the coming days. And while the Louisiana State Police won't comment on it until it's finalized, spokesman Major Doug Kane did say the agency has already made some changes on some of the things revealed in the audit. And now, even before it comes out, the draft audit is getting some strong reaction all the way from Washington. U.S. Senator John Kennedy said today the questions about the hotel rooms are one of the many things in the draft audit that need further investigation.
It's unconscionable. The colonel ought to hide his head in a bag, and they need to go do a complete audit. And I trust only the legislative auditor here within state government. He needs to go in and do an audit, stem to stern.
And for the very latest on the Edmonson audit, just go to our website, WWLTV.com.